Good morning, students. Once again, I am here for you, and today I am going to teach you a very motivational and interesting story that is prescribed in your syllabus. And the book name is Behive, and the chapter name is The Sound of Music, Part 1. And the title of this part is Evelyn Glennie Listens to Sound Without Hearing It. Children, I want to tell you something about the character whose name is Evelyn Glennie, and this is the story of a girl who was deaf but she learns music without hearing it. So, children, this lesson is a story of a brave girl who fought against her physical disability without indomitable courage and hard work. Children, can you imagine that how can a person learn music without hearing it? This is the question. Although she learns music without hearing it, it's a great achievement. But the question is, how can a person learn music without hearing it? So we will find in her story that is Evelyn Glennie listens to sound without hearing it. So this is the next slide. Although she lost her hearing impairment or hearing ability at a very younger age, but despite her hearing impairment, she achieved exemplary success and became one of the most famous musician of the world. And she was one of the most famous percussionist. Percussionist, it means that a musician who play musical instrument by hitting them with hand or an object such as a stick, drums and other instrument. So she was a famous percussionist who can play 1000 musical instrument. Okay children, now come to the next slide. So I told you about that this is a very inspirational and motivational story of a Scottish girl, and she was very fond of music, but she lost her hearing power at a younger age. So it was first noticed by her mother when she was 8 years old. At the end, the specialist confirmed that she was deaf at the age of 11 due to nerve damage. But Evelyn Glennie didn't give up hope and never looked back. She was determined to lead a normal life and pursue her interest in music. Once she saw a girl playing xylophone and decided to play it. Most of the teachers discouraged her, but percussionist Ron Forbes encouraged her. He made her learn music by making her feel different notes in her body. So the children story starts when a young 13 to 16 years old girl was standing underground railway station waiting for the train where she was to board and attend the Royal Academy of Music. The first line, rush hour crowds jostle for position on the underground train platform. A slight, small and thin girl, looking younger than her 17 years, she was nervous yet excited as she felt the vibration of the approaching train. It was her first day at the prestigious Royal Academy of Music in London, and daunting enough, she was frightening enough for any teenager fresh from a Scottish farm. But the aspiring musician faced a bigger challenge than most. She was profoundly deaf. Children, aspiring musician means a person who wants to be a musician. As second paragraph, Evelyn Glennie Glennie's loss of hearing had been gradual. It was slow. Her mother remembers noticing something was wrong when the 8-year-old Evelyn was waiting to play the piano. They called her name and she didn't move. She didn't hear. I stands for her mother, realized she hadn't heard, says Isabel Glennie, her mother. For quite a while, Evelyn managed to conceal, hide her growing deafness from friends and teachers. But by the time she was 11, her marks had deteriorated and her headmistress request her parents to take her to a specialist. It was then discovered that her hearing was severely impaired as a result of gradual nerve damage. They were advised that she should be fitted with hearing aids and sent to a school for the deaf. Everything suddenly looked black, says Evelyn. But Evelyn was not going to give up. She did not give up hope. She was determined to lead a normal life and pursue her interest in music. One day, she noticed a girl playing a xylophone and decided that she wanted to play it too. Most of the teachers discouraged her, but percussionist Rain Forbes spotted her potential, her ability. He began by tuning two large drums to different notes. Don't listen through your ears, he would say. Try to sense it some other way, says Evelyn. Suddenly I realized I could feel the higher drum from the waist up and the lower one from the waist down. Forbes repeated the exercise and soon Evelyn discovered she could sense sudden notes in different parts of her body. So she could feel music through her body parts. I had learned to open my mind and body to sounds and vibration. She learned through sounds and vibration. The rest was sheer determination and hard work. Paragraph 4. She never looked back from that point onwards. She toured the United Kingdom with a youth orchestra, and by the time she was 16, she had decided to make music her life. She auditioned for the Royal Academy of Music and scored one of the highest marks in the history of the Academy. She gradually moved from orchestral work to solo performances. At the end of her 3-year course, she had captured most of the top awards. So, children, that's all for today. In the next slide, tomorrow, I will teach you the next part of the story.